when you hear that disk drive click, the 1.2, 1.3, 2.04 and the 3.0, pretty sure the Amiga 1000 and the 1500 did it as well, but that had hard drives built in. But that click, and you put a disc in and you hear the metal open and the disc start to read, and you hear the grinding noise of it, and you're waiting for the game to load. Just so magical, isn't it? Anyway, what I want to say, and it's something that I've been meaning to do for a long time, and Flashback TNT did a video on this, and it was your first experience with the Amiga, or your first Amiga that you bought. And my one was a 500, it was, and it didn't really turn out that great, which I'll explain. I will. It was good memories at the time, but with a couple of audio issues. When you get older, you tend to lose train of thought in what actually happened, so I think it's better to get this done looking back at it, what actually happened. Like the hair, for instance, it's dyed. I know it is, you know it is, but Elaine was she was dyeing her hair, something like that, and she had a little bit of tent left over, so she stuck it on mine. I didn't really want it done, but I got roped into it. I did. I'm loading up Lotus 2 because that was one of the games that I played when I had my first Amiga. So what happened was, I just have a quick little background. At the time, I had the Spectrum 48K Plus and the Master System, and how great they were at the time. Things moved on. The Mega Drive was out around about 91, wasn't it? 89 the Mega Drive came out. Super Nintendo wasn't out yet, but the Amiga was just that machine that just pushed things further, along with the ST. But the Amiga just had the music. It was just a better machine, wasn't it? So my good mate Dave, he had an Amiga. Cav had one. I went to school, primary school, with both of them. And John, who started senior school about 3 months after we started, so I think he joined about October, November, he did. But Dave and John, we was round there a lot, especially Dave. John didn't really pirate games, but I remember he had the 500 1.3 kickstart. I'm pretty sure it's 1.3, and he had the Commodore 1080 monitor. It was the white one, and they had Commodore back down the bottom left with a green light on the right. I definitely remember the monitor, I do, because I thought, what's that? You know, he's got a Commodore monitor as well. And Dave's just had it on a normal TV, you know, just like a Panasonic TV. So playing games around Dave's house, we played Pinball Dreams, we played Titus the Fox, Speedball 2, Kickoff 2, because Sensi wasn't out then, Jaguar XJ220, Whiskey Woods. There was quite a few games that we played. Warzone, we played Mercs he had. I'm just thinking of the games that he brought at Springfield Market when we was younger. And John, as I said, he had originals, and he had a brother, younger brother, Aaron. And Aaron was, I remember going around his house a few times, and Power All Stars they were playing, Rodland they was playing. I remember them playing Robocop and Batman as well. It was a good few games he was playing, and because Dave had the Cartoon Classic pack, he was playing Lemmings before we got things, and he had the Amiga format, and he had this disc, not this actual disc, but he had this with it, and we had Total Recall on it. And I'm pretty sure that, yeah, remember him getting that because he had a free magazine with his Amiga, and that was a cover disc with it, or it might have been John. I don't think John had Lemmings, but he had that demo. I'm not sure if you could play 2-player on that. I can't remember top of my head. But we nicked Dave's discs without him knowing, because we went round Dave's, got our bikes, and then went round John's house. And because I love playing Lemmings, because Bart Simpson was it was good. The animation of it, the intro was absolutely outstanding. And I remember putting the discs in at his house and thinking, you know, going back home to my Master System and my Spectrum. But yeah, John didn't have Lemmings, so because I wanted to play at 2-player, if you got 2 mouses, so I nicked Dave's mouse and John had a mouse and was playing Lemmings 2-player. But they all got fed up with that in the end. They did, and I went back to their games they wanted to play. I'm just going to whip this off at the moment. How good that music is it still lives up to its day, and it reminds me of especially level 1. Was it Oh Yeah by Yellow? The theme tune from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's the little bit on it. So Cav, we went round Cav's house, but we didn't really go in and play his computer. We didn't. We ended up like bringing our bikes over, and his dad used to own a corner shop, so we was in there a lot. I can't remember if that was beforehand. That might have been 92, 90, yeah, around about 92. Dave and John had their Amigas around about 91, yeah, at the beginning of 91, 92. So I was in Cav's shop, and there was an advert. As you walk in, I remember it's been on the right hand side of the shop, and it had an Amiga 500 for sale. And at the time I thought, I ain't going to afford this. So I went home, because no one was selling them. The local newspapers didn't, you know, I didn't really look as much. I wasn't really on the lookout. But you know, when you see an advert and you think, I wonder if that's any good, I wonder if I can get that. And then you go home, you speak to your mum and dad, and they say no straight away. And then I said, well, you know, Dave's got one. I went to school with Dave at nursery, and you know, he's got one, so why can't I have one? My cousin Gary's got one, John's got one, Cav's got one, you know, everyone's got one. I need one. So it just went on for a couple of days, and then I went back there after school, because the shop was on the way home from school, and the advert was still there. So I said, Dad, it's still there. It means it's still there. It means it's waiting for me. It means it needs me. It's coming home with me. So Dad said, all right, I'll speak to Mum. And I had quite a lot of electronic games, like the handhelds, Pac-Man and the Munchman, or whatever you call it, from Grandstand. A lot of Grandstand games. So quite a few of them got sold off. And my cousin Gary, his dad's mate, I think his name was Clifford. I think his son bought a few. It might have been him. So I ended up flogging a couple of them, and then I think I got half the money. So I think I got 75, 50 quid. I think possibly something like that, in that sort of money range. So after that, ring the bloke up and said, you know, it's the Amiga 500 for sale. And he said, yeah, we've got it here. So I said, my dad said, could it was advertised at the shop, you know, I can pick it up at the shop. So they arranged to meet. So Dad's walking down the road, money in his back pocket, and I'm sitting at home. I didn't go with him. I don't know why. I'm not sure why I didn't go with him. And then I'm thinking, because you don't know if he's going to buy it or not, because he's only going to look at it. So he ends up, no mobile phones obviously then, so I couldn't ring him to say, did you get it, on the way when he's walking back. So he's coming home, and I'm waiting patiently in the front room, but I still don't remember if I was there. That's what I mean, the memory slowly, on this story, slowly disappearing. I don't think I did, because I would have remembered. So I say that Dad's got through the door and he's got the box, so I think, yeah, he's definitely he's got something. So I'm just wiring it up. I get out the box, I put it on the table. As I said, it's got no pictures of this one, so I knew how it went together because we connected Dave's up. Well, his mum and dad connected it up, but you could see like it's set up. Modulator on the back, lead out the modulator to the RF, 2 phonos with the wire to the two, well, the 1 phono to the modulator into the Amiga left and right audio. So everything was fine. It was. When I got it, I cycled to Dave's house, nicked a couple of his discs. I nicked Swiv, I nicked Whiskey Woods and Titus the Fox. I don't think I nicked Pinball Dreams. I don't think we had that at the time. I don't think. So everything else was fine. It booted up, started to load. I've already had Lotus running. So, but when I was playing Lotus, I had it sounded awful. It did, like the audio was distorted for some reason. And I'm thinking, oh no, I've got the computer I've been dying to get. And I booted it up, I resetted it, loaded it back up again, had a quick look at the mouse ports and everything, and it still sounded rotten. It did. It was just distorted. There's no other word to say it. The audio was just completely messed up with it. I don't know if it will be a dry joint because it wasn't that old, I don't think. It was probably only 3 or 4 years old. The other game, as I said, Swiv. So I played Lotus 2, and that sounded really bad. And Dad walked over and he said, you know, is everything all right? I said, you know, because I'm round the back of it, fiddling it all, you know, fiddling it. I said, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Because I didn't want him to know that it was dodgy. So I said, no, something's not right here. I loaded up Swiv, and this title music, you know, it's again, it's like Lotus 2. It's got a great intro music to it, and I can't remember. I can't explain it. I can't, but it just didn't sound right. So I said, Dad, you know, it might be the audio on the Amiga, it might be all the modulator, something like that. So I unplugged my dad's leak amplifier. I stuck that to the right of the machine. I got my speakers from upstairs because they had the little, I don't know if there was wires, so I had to wrap the wire around and everything. So I've got the speakers and the audio, and it sounded just a touch better, but it wasn't great at all. It's still something wrong with it. So I'm sitting there, like, either like that, or it's like, oh God, what? Oh, it's just a nuisance, isn't it? So Dad said, what are you going to do? You can't keep it like that. It's a lot of money. Back in like 1992. So I said, no, and it's some of it is my money as well, because I flogged off like quite a few, you know, handhelds, like electronic games. So I said, no, I don't want this. It's not right. I'm not happy with this. So it broke my heart to say it wasn't working, and having that area where the table was. I've got a picture of me doing homework where the table was, but I think the table, it's on this side, but it should be that side where it was. But I'll try and link as I can pictures that relate to this story. So it was, where's the telephone number then? We'll give the bloke a ring and say, look, you know, we can't have this. At the time, you wouldn't have spares and repairs or anything like that. I'm pretty sure it was working order when Dad shook his hand and exchanged money for the Amiga. So I ring him up. I'm sitting there on the sofa, Dad's ringing him, and it's like, is he going to answer? He answered the phone, and then you know, it's like when you're hearing it and you can't hear the other conversation, so you're sitting there thinking, what's he saying? You know, what's going on here? And then I think I might have left at the time, I can't remember. And they went on for a little bit saying, yeah, it's working, it's not. So Dad talked him round, and he said, you know, pack up the computer, I think it's going back. So he packed it up, arranged to meet the bloke who sold it to us back at the shop, because that's where we bought it from. So I stayed at home in case it got nasty. So my dad started to walk up, took a crowbar with him, just in case if things got nasty with him. I don't know, they did that back then, didn't they? End up taking some sort of weapons. So watched the fence, he took a baseball bat, great little short film. Escort and a couple of motorbikes in it, great actors. So he's walking down the roads. I remember the route. I got some footage on a bike recently where I was, so I'll put that in when I'm talking. So there's me thinking, where could it be? Because no mobile phones were there at the time. They weren't. So I'm thinking, it must be through the alleyway now. So he's walking through this alleyway up to my cousin's Mick. My cousin Mick, that doesn't sound right. My uncle Mick, which lives on the same area as the shop. So he's walking through the alley, walking up to my cousin's house, Gary, which is his dad. And they look like Phil Mitchell and Grant Mitchell, apart from the beer belly and the bald head. So they're walking down, going to meet the bloke about the Amiga. So I'm sitting at home, biting my nails, thinking, you know, it'll be great if he brung it home so I can play it again, but it'll be great because it didn't work. So they ended up talking for a bit, what I can remember. Anyway, so Dad got his money back. No, it was just fine. It was like, okay, we'll take it back. He'll take it back, and then we got our money back for it, which is, you know, it was good. It was good news because it was just rotten. It was. So we get home, and then I think that was pretty much it. But it was just the aggro of it, you know, finally getting the Amiga that I wanted after all my mates had one, good friends even today, and to get it home and it wasn't working efficiently as it should, and it was just gutting. It was. But on the brighter note, on the 600s, but even that had problems. That wasn't a perfect machine. That wasn't at the time when I had it, the first couple of months. But that will link on to this video. But I just want to talk about the 500 and my first purchase off the 500. What actually happened, and just the magical moment of bringing it home and setting it up. But as I said, there were problems with the audio that just made it really unplayable, because that's what the Amiga was. It was the sound, the graphics, the colours, just everything about it. But the sound just stood out so well with it, and with it's not working, just terrible. So I think that is it. I've gone through all the games and everything. The only thing what I will say is that Lotus 2 on the 1200s, that's the original disc that I copied. But the date on the disc, if you see it, I'm no good with doing this, I'm not showing it, it's all left and right in it because it's back to front. Or is it the 6th of the 12th 94? But I wrote Turpentine on the back. So I remember doing that when I had it. So I think this is the original disc that I had. But because it wasn't working on the 1200, I must have put a new label on it as my writing improved. But you can see down there that there is black marks, so I must have written Lotus 2, but I never had a label at the time. And as you get older, you tend to do, you progress, don't you? You do with the stuff that you buy, and you make it better. Like Lotus 2's on a red label. All the discs that I didn't enjoy, that I thought, I won't bother about it, I'll just copy on a yellow label. Nothing wrong with yellow, but at the time, yellow it just didn't stand out as much as red or blue. But yeah, that's my sort of, well, it is my memory of the 500, my first Amiga, that was. Anyway, I can't really say anything else apart from thanks for watching. Good night.